have my license.
Okay.
Well.
All right, guys, we are live. And so welcome to everybody in person. We haven't had the table filled like this for a while. And everyone online listening to the September Académie Lafayette Board of Directors meeting. Can I get a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved. I second.
All right.
Gwen?
Any discussion? Everyone in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay.
Anyone opposed? All right, motion carries. We have no stakeholder comments tonight, is that right? Okay. All right, then we will move on to the approval of the August 21st meeting minutes. Can I get a motion?
So moved. Gwen?
Second, Jen.
Any discussion on the minutes? Everyone in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, motion carries. Governance.
Ooh.
There's a lot.
Kind of a lot, but it'll be fast. One, most people probably saw the email. Michael Bland has had to transition off the board. He has a very busy year with a new master's program that he is starting. So it was sad to not be able to continue, but that does leave an opening for a finance expert. So governance committee is talking about finance people, both as current parents or external community members. So if anybody has thoughts on somebody with a financial background, would love feedback, just email me. And yes, we will be very quickly trying to figure out how to fill that very big gap for us now. Second, I did pass out, these are the same sort of yearly commitments we make each year as a board, just a reminder of what our overall responsibilities are, the commitment we make to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and conflict of interest. For anybody that has time to sort of review those, they're exactly what you signed each year. We'll take signed ones tonight, or if you don't have a chance, feel free, I can grab it from you another time. And then can we click on that updated bylaws, and I might actually just steal your computer if you don't mind. So we just did a review that Michelle has led and Dana reviewed.
What's your amount?
Oh. Well, the mouse, can I move through it with this?
Yeah.
Not working. Can I do your arrows?
Okay.
That works. So there is nothing major on the bylaws. Obviously, we are K-12, where it used to be K-8. We added our diversity statement to align with what we approved as a school. There's some other just legal things. The legal language better aligns with our current practices. So a lot of it is just things that we wanted to make sure align with what we currently do as a school. And then at the end, there is updates on our committees. We had, that was sort of out of date regarding what was in the bylaws, so we want to make sure it accurately reflects, one, the committees that we're required to do, and then those that we opt to do as a school. So you can see some revisions there to the committees, what we do, and then the responsibilities we also added for each committee, so that there's always clarity around what each committee takes responsibility for. This is all things that we reviewed that are online. It was just our bylaws that were out of date. Anything else that you would add, Michelle, highlights for the board to be aware of?
No, it's just really looking at the training requirements that stay the same. And so those are outlined at the very bottom. I think it's
they're the same as what, yes, they're there.
Yes, and so that was Dr. Boyd from SLU confirmed that they'll stay the same that we had before with our previous sponsor.
And we'll get that again through that, whatever you call that system.
Yes, Vector.
Vector, sorry, yeah.
Right. There's the Vector trainings. There's some that will integrate, like Sunshine Law we try to do every year, so we know how to follow the right charter laws. Our retreat always counts as training to review strategic plan and sort of all of that. So a lot of things are what's integrated into the board meetings already. And then for new board members, there's a few things that I'll talk with you all about as well. So Pam, I don't know if you counted, you've done all of that before, so, but yes, we'll figure that piece out. We'll do it again.
Marcia, can you open the gate for Lauren to get in? Thank you.
And I would just officially welcome, I know our two new board members, they were here, we introduced them last time, but Lisa and Pam, thank you for joining us. We are excited to have your expertise on the board. So, it will be an exciting year. Okay.
I think beyond that, I think it's just the job descriptions.
Okay, did I mess you up? Can you get back to?
I should be able to, definitely, where's my,
I think if you go down there, you can get back to your PowerPoint, no?
no problem, I should be able.
Didn't occur to me that I would.
Oh, yeah, with that.
No, it should be fine,
I
I'm
don't
just trying to
see.
figure out. Bring it down first, yeah.
Oh, there it is.
There we go. There you go. Okay.
All right. The bylaws are in the folder, and so, if you haven't had a chance to look at them, take a look at them, but otherwise we'll finalize and sign, and there they are.
And I do think we need a motion to approve the updated bylaws.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the updated bylaws?
I move that we approve the updated bylaws. What?
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. It's the Stevens Show, finance.
Our favorite part.
All right. So we're going to talk about accounts payable first. So there were a few transactions noted in the finance packet. We didn't really discuss any additional ones in the finance meeting, but we did talk about the Gallagher insurance. We paid that in August, and that was almost $200,000. As noted, we did go a little bit over budget on that just because when we had the initial budget meeting back in June, we didn't have final renewals yet, and so that's why that came in over budget. And where that comes from is our experience rating with workers' compensation, as well as the educator's legal liability. So with workers' compensation, we have an experience rating of 0.8. And so instead of us saving $7,000 like we did last year, we only saved $2,500 this year. So there's a little bit of an increase there. But then on the educator's legal liability, due to market conditions as well as the underwriters taking a beating over the last several years, just with the litigious nature of our society, verdicts that have come down, it's driven costs up. So that's the reasoning behind the increase to the insurance. Did anyone have any questions over the Excel file that went out in the finance packet? Then we'll need a motion to approve the August 2023 accounts payable transactions.
So moved.
Second.
Right, all in favor, or any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Right, motion carries.
Next item is the July financial statements. So for July, we're looking at cash in, cash out. We spent more than we received by $73,000, and that's within what I would expect. When I look at a 6-year average of what we've done, we typically spend more than we receive by $330,000. So that's over a 6-year average, and so we were only at 73. So that's definitely below average, but within reason there.
And that's typical for July.
Yeah, that's typical. Yep, certainly. These are just the Ed Ops financial statements they prepared, but that also shows that cash, that change in cash of $73,000 there. Negative cash. Okay, so next item is for bus. So the bus purchase, we're working to purchase 3 to 4 buses now. In the finance packet, we were saying 2 to 3, but we're actually looking at 3 to 4 buses now. And what we're looking at is we've had to take over the Cherry campus routes, or at least some of the Cherry campus routes. I know there's still a void there. But also we have buses tied up in repairs at the moment. So we're trying to relieve that problem. And so we've reached out to our banks as we're pricing these buses out. We did go last week and looked at several different buses at Midwest Bus in Kansas, and Nina drove a few of those, and she recommended for purchase at least 3 of them. We're looking at a 4th bus now at that same company, and those buses, the 2018, 3 of those cost $65,000 roughly, and then the 2019 that we looked at cost $70,000. So we're looking at $265,000 to $270,000 in bus purchase here for 4 buses. We've considered a few different lending options. We have a line of credit with our bank. We also looked into traditional auto bus loans, but we also looked into what's called a cash secured loan, and that's what's highlighted here on the screen. And that's where we put cash aside from our reserves down as essentially collateral into a CD, a certificate of deposit. And so for a $200,000 loan, the bank has offered 5.25% with an equivalent CD earning 3.25%, and that would be about 5 years term there. I also asked about a $300,000 loan at the same terms as well.
Now, these buses new. What years were the last buses we bought?
2011, I believe. The current buses we have.
Yeah, or older.
Yeah.
And Nina and a mechanic have reviewed these new ones, or is Nina a mechanic?
Nina is not a mechanic, but this facility has its own maintenance department there. One thing that she noted, she raised up the hood and got underneath there, and she was showing me how it's greased really well. It's not caked on dirt. It's been maintained is what her point was there. So she has some kind of background at looking at those kind of things.
The buses they have are mainly coming back from lease. They school district lease bus for 5 years. And either we lease and pay $20,000 per bus per year, or we purchase this. The 3 we looked at before were especially well maintained because they came from contract. So that's why we're interested, because you look at all those ones. So either we buy $65,000 or we lease 5 years, I think, and pay $20,000 a year. Of course, we will be saving in bus maintenance. Here also, they say they would be able to take care of the bus maintenance for us. Right. So we think that, as you know, the buses we have now, so that the buses were left over for citywide, because they sold all the buses, and when we came, we bought RPs. So they worked for 1 year. Well, we don't have really many products except for one bus where we spent $9,000 for repairs. The problem is they cannot sustain 2 routes cheering. And one of the buses is out, and we have to pay $20,000, $22,000. So we're thinking maybe it's not worth it. We'd rather buy a new bus and not throwing money in the bus.
So these buses aren't in addition to, these are to replace the ones that are not working very well?
For in addition and treatment, because if we're planning to take Cherry, we need 10 buses. We have 7 now. 10, 1 is out, plus 4 will be 10. So what we want to do is, we use these new buses for cheering, 3-tier, so they can run armor and cheering. And we use our smaller buses that are in good condition to do probably special routes for cheering for students that live further, so that they're smaller, so we can gain more time in the cheering by transporting only students that are not too far away from bus campus. That's what we're planning to do. So what it's going to look like in practice, we don't know yet. So if we do that, we need 5 buses. 3 of them will be cheering, with cheering, and we have 2 more that would be only for cheering. At the same time, we need reserve buses, 2 or 3 reserve buses, because if one of them is broken down, we will have a couple of buses or 3 available to take over. Or also for special trip during the day or special trip that we can use them.
Do these come with like any sort of policy, or is it just buy as is?
It's as is.
So I have a question. I just need a little education here. So help me understand a little bit about buying the buses versus leasing, because typically leasing, they'll take care of the maintenance, all of that, and then in 5 years, we're done with that and we get a new one, right? So I just want to make sure I understand how you pro and con that.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And that's what Mr. Bang was talking about.
Okay, sorry, I wasn't connecting
We
there.
could lease and go that route. We have our own maintenance people, or at least that we're contracting with currently. We are exploring to have better maintenance people because they haven't necessarily been doing a good job there. But we did take that into account, looking at how much maintenance costs. And for 3 buses, we're expecting maintenance costs to increase by $32,000. If we go with 4 buses, it'd be $43,000. And that's per year. So about $10,000 a bus, essentially, increased costs there. I mean, it's definitely debatable that if we wanted to do a lease route, we certainly could. But we were trying to just be once and done and have our own buses, essentially.
What is the lifespan of a bus? Is it after 5 years? Are they pretty much no good?
They good. We went to visit a bus, 1997.
Oh, yeah.
So,
1997.
and $3,500, I think, or $4,500.
Okay, so there,
It's working where somebody is using it. The buses we have were working. All last year they worked, except for one who had some issues with repair. So the bus we have 2 that are for repair and 2 others into inspection. So they're fine, but they will not be able, I think, according to Nina, to do the tiering.
So I guess my question though is, so we're buying new buses. There's a 5-year payment plan or the 5-year leasing. If we're going with the payment, is the expectation that we're going to be able to use these buses for longer than the 5 years in order to sort of make this make sense? Is that the hope?
That's the plan, yes. We're hoping these would be a longer term than just the 5 years.
Okay, that's
10 years for.
probably, okay. Okay.
Explain the maintenance plan, so
Yeah.
then is that all inclusive?
So
Or are you averaging what you expect
we're averaging what we
the bus to
expect,
cost?
yes.
Okay.
So one problem with, one limitation for lease is that there is a limitation on the mileage that you can use it a
Okay.
year.
Okay.
So those buses may not be best option for cheering. If you're running more than how many, you do 30,000 miles a year?
Yes, that's what Nina was estimating, was 30,000, and the gentleman kind of balked at that and was shocked that we were running that many miles, so.
That's a good that helps me
Yeah,
right
that makes-
there,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, when I'm kind of checking the boxes,
I mean, that makes sense now.
Mhm.
is how many miles you're gonna be putting on them.
Yeah.
Can I ask, who's Nina? She did something with the old buses, right?
He's a dispatcher. He's the one,
Okay.
supervisor of the,
Stuff like that, okay.
And she's apparently been a rock star. I mean, she's been phenomenal.
she's also driving. Normally she's not driving.
Does whatever's
because,
needed.
Okay.
She's doing a double route too on top of that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
She's doing almost 3 jobs at this point.
Okay.
So we love Nina.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nina.
She saved us quite a bit. So just some highlights here, so that the cash secured loan is the best option to go with. It has the lowest interest rate as opposed to the, traditional style where we secure with, where we secure the buses, where the buses are secured with the loan. You can go back an arrow, I didn't mean to advance. Go up. Go right there. The cash secured loan is what I would recommend doing. We also will have a CD, a certificate of deposit, so we'll earn interest on that we would be able to net against, the loan payments. So what I've listed here on the screen is if we were to do 3 buses with approximately $200,000 loan, payments would be $3,800, so we'd pay $45,000 annually for 5 years, but we'd have offsetting interest of $6,000, so we're looking more like $40,000 annually for 5 years on 3 buses. And then I've also noted 4 buses, which we're estimating $300,000. It's probably closer to $265,000, but I was rounding. Payments would be $5,700 a month and $68,000 a year for 5 years, and then offsetting interest of close to $10,000. So still looking at about $60,000 annually over 5 years.
So if you list 4 buses, you pay $8,000.
Plus the maintenance, right?
Plus the, well, if it's leased, they probably have a lease plan. I don't know, we didn't necessarily look to see if there was some kind of maintenance schedule on that, if it was in addition.
We won't have to pay any repair, though.
Right.
Running.
But if you can't run the tiered system, then you need more buses, and then, right, and then you're just.
And the other thing why we thought to move from 3 to 4 is possible. We don't know what's going to happen with Oak.
Yeah.
Because it's not working. They are supposed to provide 4 hours a check. At this point, only 2 is really working. Bus number 4 doesn't work, is not running. Number 3 is very, very inconsistent. It's almost not. So they just providing 2 hours. Check out of 4. So this is an issue.
How fast can you get those buses?
So by the end of this month is what they've told us.
But we don't have drivers.
And then we
But then we need drivers.
We have drivers. We have. By then we'll have 5 drivers. I see a couple of people applied for drivers also. At this point, we have 5 drivers, but we have 2. I would say if you look at everything, 6 drivers. You need 5. 6 drivers plus Nina. 7, which is good. But 2 of them are on medical leave, and may not be returning until one of them at least beginning of October. So we will continue to hire drivers. Today again, I saw 2 people applied. So if we can hire 7 drivers, would be great. It would be just like last year. We will have 1 spare driver that would be a substitute driver. That's what we did last year. So our even have a lot of challenges.
Just on the screen here, I was showing you the cash secured loan on the left-hand side, and then a traditional style where we would secure the buses as collateral on the right-hand side. And so the cash secured loan is what was in the notes for $300,000. That's an annual amount of $68,000, but then you also take into consideration that CD or getting interest revenue, so it'd be closer to $60,000, as opposed to a traditional style loan where the buses are secured. You're looking at a $70,000 payment for our banks. They've quoted us at 6.77% and 8% respectively. Something else that we are considering is towards the end of this fiscal year, if we're projecting a surplus, we'll definitely consider just paying off the balance on those buses, the principal balances.
It's a big if, but it's a lovely world to live in.
That's right. I like to be optimistic.
Right.
The fund a need for the EIP.
Right, yes,
Yep.
I mean, it's actually not a bad.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah. So we'll just need a motion to approve, the purchase of school buses not to exceed $300,000.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion, any more discussion, any other questions? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We got buses.
I do think we just need to keep moving in the direction that we run all of our own buses.
That was a pretty
I
painful
agree.
discussion a year ago about that.
Yeah.
And I was adamantly
Good tell
opposed. The first time we had this discussion, I was adamantly opposed to running
Me
buses.
too.
But now.
I thought it was a horrible idea, but I had no idea how bad it could be. And now I do.
I wish we wouldn't have to do that anyway.
Right,
I was all for it, but limited now. I used to be taking over everything, but it's crazy. So I think having at least one at Arma would be very beneficial.
All right, development.
Development office, so we've finalized the interview of the top two candidates, and hopefully by the end of this week, we'll have a director of development.
And so we're hiring two positions, a director of development and an event person. Which is great to see.
We're still looking for the
Did the-
event and volunteer coordinator.
Did the event coordinator position get posted? Has it ever been posted?
I think so.
No?
Oh, really?
That's why we don't, we're still
Waiting for adding it approved.
Okay.
It was changed, no? Did we really change?
Yeah, because we were taking out some of the
Okay,
stuff related to the
Okay,
database and
okay.
everything, so.
that's right.
You wanted to wait for the new person.
No, let's post it, because, the new person should not influence who we're hiring there anyway, because, as I say, in the real world, if you had this person 2 years ago, the development that would come and find.
Yeah, and they'd still be here.
That's what I'm saying, let's keep move forward. Anniversary, setting up the 21st anniversary committee, I think that Tom, as a founder here, would be great to, if you could meet and have a coffee and see how we can do it.
All in
Welcome to the board.
I'm thinking of involving alumni, involving the PTO, students, council, teachers, and administrators, and then see how we can plan a great 25th year. And then also creating a video and interviewing founders, first alumni, if possible, and talk about what was their experience and so on. And I think once the committee is there, we can see what kind of activities we can have to celebrate this anniversary.
Definitely a dunk tank.
Yeah.
For sure.
The dance tank? I didn't want, I won't do it again ever.
Just wait.
It was part of a.
For a bus, you may do it.
The fundraiser, and then most people have to give money, everybody goes,
Yes.
line is line.
Sorry, you're gonna have to take one for the team.
Everybody wants to put me into that. Great.
Well, and Pam, what's really great is like, now you've got a high school student council to help
I
on the
know, that
committee,
it'll be
and
so
you've
much
got
fun.
like,
Yeah.
you've got
This'll
the
be
kids that
interesting.
can do the videos.
Right, I was gonna, our journalism
Yes.
students, get their help doing
Yeah.
the video.
Yeah.
I think they're oftentimes watching the board meeting, so journalism students,
Yeah.
if you're listening.
And all of
Yours.
those kids are future alumni,
Right,
so
yeah.
they'll have they really have skin in the game on the deal. It's a big deal.
Mhm.
I won't pay any attention to it, but I'll let them see. Oh, no.
So if you can have coffee and see how we can move forward and then
Okay,
get started
got it.
and start having fun. The raffle, I would start by saying also thank you to Alex, who did all the job, and amazing job. The Fosters met a couple of times and still doing things. It's amazing. So get any contact, you can rally up this year and have a goal of $9,000. The banners have been ordered too for the campuses also. We're currently contacting raffle t-shirt sponsors. Cost of $200 per sponsor. It used to be $100, but with the cost of inflation, we doubled it.
Pam, sponsor?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't been contacted.
Sponsor, yeah.
So raffle t-shirt will be red with white glow in the dark ink. Any student selling 200 tickets, $100. By October 6th, we'll get this t-shirt. So no should design contest this year. Middle schoolers will vote on the final design. I mean, we'll be selling tickets on the front of businesses. So I have been contacting some of the businesses to accept. For accept our kids go there and sell tickets.
And remind me, was it 81,000 our profit, or
Profit.
that was the profit we made?
Profit,
from
take
that?
off. Because it generally generates, last year it generated 130,000. So because the guy takes 35%.
Which is amazing, because before we had them, I can't remember, it was a
Uh,
much lower.
around
yeah.
30,000, 40,
Right.
30,000, 40,000,
Yeah.
30,000, yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
When is the information for the raffle going out? Was it
Friday.
last, okay, this
Friday
letter?
is kickoff at some different campus. By then we'll have a director of development. Any question about development? Okay, performance committee report. So we're doing, you want to say something, Gwen, or before I start?
No, you're good.
Okay. We had a meeting, and normally we should be looking into things, the student enrollment demographic and student nutrition, with what's going on, and because attrition and even enrollment is a part of the October core data for testing, waiting to get more information about attrition for teachers. I mean, the teacher attrition we have it, but also for students to be able to present courses in October. So this one is the enrollment. So this is general enrollment provided by the IT department and the admission office. For them to work and look at it. She was at 50.8 population and 43.2 for minorities. And it's broken down by campus, as you can see. I'm sure Pam will say, I told you so. But at this point, Cherry seems to have more diversity. It's 50.9% of minorities. Compared to Oak is at 62.6, which is 37.4.
And is that mostly the kindergarten? Because I feel like we haven't seen that kind of drastic difference in years previous, so it's
The last,
just
the last 3 years. It's the last 3 years, not before. Before it was sensibly the same, almost the same. The last 3 years. One thing we will be checking, seeing with the attrition in October, whether or not, and who are we losing at Oak and at Cherry too? Are we losing more minority at Oak or not, or at Cherry, and why? We need to look into that so that we can rebalance things. But when we do the drawing of the lottery, they're generally the same.
Did the, change like the boundary or anything else? No.
No, we haven't done any boundary changes.
Yeah, but remember, also, we haven't done that. But the off boundary is less diverse than Cherry boundary.
It is.
Right.
So, and depending on how many people move there, too.
That's the
So,
thing.
So, middle school is just like almost where we were before. We're starting to get the first group coming. Remember, we used to be 66, you'll see 66% Caucasian. Middle school hasn't moved really, because again, we started it 2 years ago. Now we're having first grade coming, and so on. So hopefully it will maintain. And I hope there won't be, or there have not been more official minority, so that by the time they reach middle school, they're losing some of our diversity.
Right.
To look into that too.
Because the bump is not yet in middle school, it's the current fifth graders where we doubled in size and where we had sort of more purposeful focus on diversity, so it's not in middle school.
So it's not getting there yet, it's not.
That'll be next year.
Right, yes.
In 3 years, we will have all the bump or whatever, the wave that we increased before to get into all the way to 8th grade. The good thing also is the high school is even almost, very diverse. When I went today I went to the French class, the French 1 class, and you can see the student, French 1 class is for students, non-AL graduates, students we took from the charter school and district. It's mainly minorities, that's what we have. So that makes the rebound. So we have here 53.2% minority. So, and high school ultimately will be around 350, so we keep it on, which is good for our branch, by the way. Because, and also for low socioeconomic also, you can see that it's more diverse. So this is the chart projection for race and ethnicity we did 4 years ago, how many years ago, 5 years now. This is when we plan to see how do we reach our diversity goal. How many, if we increase the number of kindergarten, and we are really, really aggressive in recruiting minority kindergarten, and then based on also the number of siblings, because we could not change siblings back then anyway, they're the same. So we did a projection for 10 years, all the way to 2028, by the way. This is what it would look like. That's what we wanted to do. And that's based on this projection we developed a plan, a diversity plan to reach that. So the actual looks like this. Okay, what do I have? Maybe I have an extra. So this is what the actual look like. Look at the blue line and the red line, how they overlapped all the way to 2 years ago, the last 2 years, 2023, 2024. That's where you have it. Came down, but the red line is the actual one, the actual minority number. So we see that it went up again by 1 point from 23, 2020. So we are getting back target. So but we need to watch it because again, one of our bigger, I'll talk about it later, bigger problem is getting back to implementing our diversity plan, our outreach plan. Unfortunately, we're not being this successful with socioeconomic wise. It's more difficult because you can't identify anybody for recruitment for socioeconomic. So I would say the demographic trend slightly getting back in line with the 10-year projection. The lack of preschool teachers and recruiters has impacted our recruitment target. I say we used to have couple of preschool teachers and intervening in 3 or 4 preschools and helping raise awareness about our program. We have done that the last 2.5 years almost since COVID.
And I think that was largely because we couldn't find teachers, so do we see anything different for this coming year?
Still very difficult. Okay. At the point where we're thinking is just treat the teacher like a normal our teacher. Like you can hire somebody from outside who can do it and and know English too at the same time to communicate well with parents, to do that. So it has been, you offered the job for this position to a couple of people who did not take it.
Are we paying enough?
I think so. I think we've increased the pay, able to be competitive.
But I think before, was it just a part-time position? Like the last
It
couple of
used to
years,
be.
we've been.
Yeah.
And now we're looking at full time. We're thinking at different routes also to help provide different classes. And also even recruiters, we have used to pay 2 or 3 people during the recruitment season, say, okay, to give them a laptop or a Chromebook to go into more low income zip codes to help recruit. It has been more challenging to do that. Maybe we need to double the pay to get people to do that. But even if you pay more money, if they bring 5 kids, already it's very beneficial.
Yeah, worth it.
So we haven't filled out seats for kindergarten and 9th grade at this point. I think that 9th grade is going to be, because we still have waiting lists that we need to operate. So kindergarten, we have 4 kindergarten classes at Cherry and 5 at Oak. We still have 2 spares to fill.
How many spots are open in kindergarten?
I don't have it all, but I think it's 8, when you did the budget, no, maybe more, maybe 12. How many?
I think there's at least 17 that were down from the budget,
But
but that's total, and which would include kindergarten and 9th grade as well.
so, yeah. But the problem with the 17 is there some grade where we exceeded our projection, so that's why we get to that. So maybe more than that. I'll check it and let you know.
Okay.
So as I already said, Cherry campus is more diverse than Hope. High school is more diverse than the rest of the schools. Middle school has not been affected by our efforts to have more diverse student population. Okay. So October data will be student and teacher restrictions and field review status. By then we'll be any questions?
No, I just want to tell you, thank you for the key takeaways. I really like the bullet points, and you really captured our conversation from the committee meeting, so thank you.
Sure, thank you. The committee is my test drive. I know you ask tough questions and so on, and okay, I'll go back and redo my draft. Great. Any other questions? Report. Africa tax mission. Maybe next time I ask the principals to do the recognition like that. Jerry, electric demand is the supervision that the team that supervises in the morning the kids, supervising them and being recognized by Heather.
Great picture.
Okay.
That is a great picture.
Folks, recognizing all our gratitude to Dorothy Warner, Taylor, Sorry, Louis, and Devin Long, who made the recycling program happen at the Oak campus. So they have a recycling program.
Kids so love the recycling. It's a big deal to kids.
And it's so, I mean, it's such a great thing to get them involved.
It is.
I love that we're doing that.
Yep.
Recognition. Celebrate the wonderful group of new teachers already having a significant positive impact on the culture of our schools.
Oh, good.
I like to see the one in the bottom. He's out doing the traffic in the morning.
Yeah.
New guy out there risking his life.
Those angry parents, boy, they're right.
Kids love them.
Yeah, he won't let him turn right.
Special education.
That's awesome.
He's perfect for that role.
And the Mandarin teacher also is there. And at the end of the day, Leadership, Nina Sim is the bus dispatcher who is out there.
Yay, Nina.
Nina,
Yeah.
extremely helpful for hard work and leadership during these challenging times, shortage of drivers and buses. It's hard. And Alex who is the digital media and process coordinator for the amazing work in helping launch the 2023 raffle in the absence of development director. Thank you, Nina and Alex.
She's amazing too.
Transportation, we just talked about it. I think maybe coming back to just that the state of our transportation. I told you, those two routes are functioning out of Power 4, even though they increase our bill by 40%. Crazy.
Do we have low are there students who can't get here because we don't have any buses that are working? Is our attendance really suffering right now because of that?
So probably, it's big delay. At least some parents, few parents sent an email saying in a week or so they won't be able to bring the kids.
Right. There's only so much parents can do.
Yeah.
And not everybody has huge support systems that can do this.
Cherry, we normally have 5 routes, but we will provide 2 sharing and 1 bus is broken down. Hopefully tomorrow it may be fixed. I will try to drive to the mechanics and make sure they fix it, because they told me today or tomorrow they'll fix it. Come back and Cherry, here we have 4 hours to 7 hours or because of mechanical issue or inspection. That's why we have 3 buses running now here at Arnold, out of 5 routes. 1 is doing a double route here. So we all say 4 hours are running out of 5. So we have 5 drivers working now, but we have 2 more on medical leave. And waiting. 1 is waiting. There's another one waiting for background check. I don't know if it's not know yet. Jessica, no, we don't know yet. Ladies are over there.
I don't suppose in any of the maintenance contracts that we have, there's something that you can short-term lease. It just seems like such a huge issue to have this many buses not running.
Yeah, we have, the problem is inspection. We hope that these 2 will be out and the other one, if they're, we need to be more aggressive and see what's going on with the inspection thing. The other bus, when I first asked the mechanic, they told me, 2 weeks. And I said, no, it cannot work that way because we have big problems. And it was last week they say, okay, Monday or Tuesday, they will take care of it. So I'll call Nina, and tomorrow if I have to drive there, for them to take care of the bus.
About comment about the maintenance contract. So our current maintenance contract is just like routine maintenance. It's not like major repairs or engine repairs. It has to be outsourced to a different company, and that's where we're at right now is with Rush Truck.
So it just covers the routine full training staff and nothing insurance. So is it someone that can do? Can you get a contract for?
Yeah, and we're exploring. Ironically, First Student has maintenance. I know. But Nina is aware of 2 other ones that she's looking into.
Okay.
But did you say that with the buses that we're buying, we'll have maintenance included?
No.
No?
No,
Okay.
it's not included,
Okay.
but they do have a maintenance department
they have a
at their facility,
Okay,
and they have contracts with like Shawnee Mission,
okay,
and other schools where they have their buses serviced there.
okay.
So
Could we get a contract for them for our older buses then with?
We possibly could, we could
Okay.
definitely look into
That's
that.
what they said they could do.
They're full service.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
They could do it, yeah.
So then that contract could cover maybe the
Yeah.
issues.
So.
well, the good thing is we're gonna have 4 buses that have been, brought up to speed
Yeah.
mechanically, so
Yes.
that's good.
Yeah, I think by now we'll have the drivers again. So the rest of it I just talked about, we submitted the grant, the green green bus grant from the federal government, and we won't be hearing from them until November. We may have 2 or 3 electrical buses. The guy was telling us today he can also sell an electric bus for the same cost.
For the price of the diesel bus.
For diesel bus. We said, okay, we will think about it, because we need to, of course, put the equipment, the charging, and so on.
But the grant is to replace current buses. So some of the buses we currently have, we would trade those in and get an electric bus.
Yeah, diesel bus. That's what. I mean, if it works, it would be fantastic to have. We have the best flea maybe in town.
Right.
It's great.
Is there air conditioning on them?
I don't know yet.
No buses have air conditioning, but.
So if we have that, it would be great. Otherwise, we'll have our 5 new buses, and the small buses are great also for long distance. So, yeah.
No, I'm wondering if there would be a way to set up a carpool situation for those parents who are really saying in 3 weeks, I can't bring them.
Yeah.
We have been looking at all kinds of things, including buying minivans. Minivans of 10 people, 10 passengers that we can have 2 of them run around and pick up kids. I think that minivans are good for small team or after school team or during the day. We still need those ones. Maybe if you have enough money, we use those $300,000 to buy 2 of them instead of.
I do think
That
it's
could actually
worthwhile to
work.
have
Yeah.
like the 15-passenger van, like some smaller vehicles to transport.
Yeah.
They
I
get a
know,
lot of
You
use.
don't need a
I had an article also few places to see if you can rent them. It's around $2,000. I mean, it's a price for one grab of everything. So
Yeah.
what it is.
Let's not do that.
Yeah,
That's insane. $2,000 a week.
that's a lot.
And if you have 2 of them, it's $4,000 a week.
Right, yeah.
That's what it is. So,
Right, exactly.
So that's what I had for transportation. Any questions, concerns? So, the academy, we did our first late start last week. I haven't heard any negative feedback. Maybe it happened on rail farm. But, yeah, I know there are a couple of parents who have some challenges in bringing their kids and with their job. We'll see how to help them. Upper rooms were able to coordinate the 3 campuses, so it went well. But I think with the increase of the number of kids we will see, all our interns will be able to cover the normal ratio. I think we have now 55 at Cherry. So, Oak, as I said, launched the green AL recycling program, and beautification committees have at work for Oak and Cherry. We need something at number 2 to next week. Fans coffee this month, at all 3 campuses. One thing probably we'll discuss with the diversity committee, how to build that Parents Academy where we have on a monthly basis invite a specialist coming, or maybe a teacher or somebody to talk about immersion program or reading or diversity themes, so that it happens every month. So if you can find something starting October, it would be great to start the series and to educate our parents about bilingual education, which we have not done. And it's part of providing bilingual education, is educating the parents so that they will understand how it works. We have not done that very well and very intensively over the last few years. So we need to get back to that.
And do they do those principal coffees every month or
Every quarter.
every quarter?
Maybe I should ask them to you.
And please, I was not insinuating that.
No, it is a quarterly, and
Right.
one thing probably we need to put, to be more aggressive is inviting minority parents back to school now, and committees, we are getting involved into the committees, and also parent teacher conferences, something we have been discussing. We've already we're setting up the goals for each building and the school for next year. And the goals are based on our priorities, and children safety and well-being, then safety, well-being, and retention goals, professional development, and supporting studying how we can get to that. We have been looking into the data for the MUP data, last year's MUP data, and looking at each building, what would be the target for this coming year. I'll share it with the performance committee once we're done, so you have an idea what we're talking. So teachers are making relationship building phone calls to parents, improve engagement. It's very, very good to hear from parents. New supplemental reading program starting at Cherry, Read to Read, and Patrick Mahomes, Read for 15. W4 testing will start, we'll have to say that this month, but it's starting this today, by the way. And this second pillar, I just talked about the second building annual goals are being set based on the strategic goals.
I just want to share, I did get my call from Mr. Diaz this week. I think that's really powerful. It just so happened that my chance met with his speech teacher because he needs to work on his R's. And so I was able to share that with him. So I definitely feel like those calls are beneficial to be able to like have that connection point and be able to share. So I do appreciate that.
I agree. I think those are powerful ways to build stronger relationships with our families, because otherwise you just hear from your teacher if your kid did something wrong, and so that pushes them away, right? That does not encourage family involvement. So just relationship for relationship is a really good thing.
That has been great.
Okay, it's going to be a shortest one.
No, look at this.
And we started on time.
Yeah, exactly.
And it just occurred to me, we put, well, except TJ is going to be our lone male. We pushed all the men off our board, so you don't have to all women.
I know, I was going to do that too.
Oh, no.
I love it. Sorry, men.
Efficiency, and we ask good questions.
Right, yeah. We get the job done.
I just have a couple things, 20 minutes or so.
Right, yeah.
No. Just wanted to let you know, after the stakeholders' comments last month, there has been additional communication with those parents and who spoke at that, and so the school is addressing those. And I know, at the building level, like the parent talking about the door open, after hours down there. I mean, focus group of one, but when I've picked my son up, I've noticed that I've not seen it open, so I think that Madam Royce has dealt with that. And then some of the air filters have already been installed at Cherry, and
Cherry received the air filters, and they're already installed in every classroom. Johnson, have you received yours so far?
Today, and
Something was at Oak today.
You see them today?
They are being installed right now.
Oh, they're being installed right now.
Yeah, when I went to go pick Camille up early from school, a bunch of, all of the front. So yes, Oak is prepared.
And
then I know there's another grant
there's
that
another coming at I don't know if they're here, maybe next week we'll come. So, each classroom will have two mid-level air filters, and the big rooms like auditorium, cafeteria, and gymnasium will receive two bigger ones.
Yeah. So, it doesn't solve everything, but it's in motion and it's happening and it's good. And then Mr. Bang and I met with Dr. Boyd from SLU on their sponsor evaluation, and she will present it to the board at next month's meeting. So she'll be here live and in person to present that.
Good.
And so that's it. Lisa and Pam, that's a wrap on it.
We're getting used to this.
Should we sign this or not?
Yes.
All right, meeting adjourned. That's it. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you for what you guys do. Appreciate it.
Was TJ not present?
He was not.
He did not make it.
Yeah, he was gonna be late, but